You want me to put that on my todger?
Harry's wife. She sold everybody down the river. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. CheatSheet.com has an article written by Lucille Barilla, which has the headline, Royal Commentator Says Harry's Wife Sold Everybody Down the River. When you become royal, becoming a reality TV star is a major step down. Status is very important to Harry's wife. This is because she has an inflated sense of her own worth. This is driven by her narcissism. It causes her to believe that she's far more worthy, important, talented than she actually is, to ensure that she provokes reactions. Thus, by gaining a reaction, she can determine subconsciously whether the person is brought under control. And of course, she is then able to drink upon the all-important fuel. If she accepted who she was, she would not be able to cope, because she has not learned any appropriate coping mechanisms in relation to getting through life. The way that she copes is as a consequence of her narcissism. Her narcissism formed to enable her to survive and to thrive, because she has not gone down the path of gaining emotional empathy. She only understands sharing and cooperation, for example, in the context of it furthering her own aims, rather than it being a useful tool of itself. Her narcissism developed to defend her. Her narcissism developed to enable her to cope with life. Her narcissism developed to enable her to pursue the prime aims, which is what keeps her alive, in inverted commas. As part of that, the issue of status is hugely important to her. Some narcissists are not particularly interested in status. Their brand of narcissism, if you will, doesn't see that as a priority. It's usually lesser narcissists who are less interested in status, particularly lower lesser, middle lesser, and sometimes lower mid-range also. But as a middle mid-range narcissist, Harry's wife truly believes that she belongs on the world stage. She believes that she should be feted and addressed by the A-list, welcomed into their enclave, that she should be worshipped by people. She fails to recognize her shortcomings because her narcissism simply does not let her see. However, there will be instances where she is able to see the reduction in her status, and in such circumstances, that poses a problem for her as it amounts to a threat to her control. In this article, a royal commentator criticised Harry's wife for her choices since exiting her role as a senior royal in 2020. They claim she has sold everybody down the river. They added, when you become royal, becoming a reality TV star is a major step down. During a GB News segment called Muck of the Week, royal commentator Nana Akua shared remarks regarding Harry's wife. She claims her behaviour is very uncharacteristic of the royal family, even for an outsider who married in. Pausing there, her behaviour is uncharacteristic, but also, in other respects, expected. There are many narcissists within royal families, and I've explained elsewhere why that is the case. Accordingly, as a narcissist, it's no surprise to find her in the royal family, because the royal family allows access to the prime aims. Being royal means that there is, or at least was, perhaps less so these days, but the ability to control people. You did what the king or queen said. Even now, people are expected to show respect and deference to a member of the royal family, and therefore that does allow some form of assertion of control. It provides a major platform, which also then enables many people to respond, providing plenty of fuel to the narcissist. It exposes a narcissist to many different people, allowing character trait acquisition. And, of course, being a member of the royal family has access to privilege, facade management, and wealth. Accordingly, a narcissist would be most attracted by the prospect of joining a royal family because it would enable the prime aims to be obtained far more effectively. Thus, it's not surprising to find that Harry's wife was attracted to joining the royal family. However, her behaviours are uncharacteristic because she was, first of all, not brought up within that environment, and therefore, if she were a narcissist that was brought up in that environment, she would buy into the system and comply with it, harnessing it. And secondly, even a narcissist that has not grown up with it may recognise the benefits of going along with the system and embracing it. She didn't, as you know. She fought against it because where it said that she couldn't do certain things, for instance, explaining that she wasn't allowed to keep her social media accounts and so forth, that was perceived by her as a threat to control, and she railed against it. Returning to the article, Nana Akua discussed Harry's wife and Harry's Spotify split, calling it a mutual dumping. She continued, as far as I can see, she sold everyone down the river. But she did not understand that when you become royal, becoming a reality TV star is a major step down. The royal commentator also believes life is looking equally gloomy for Prince Harry. Spare was a case of too much information, Akua claimed. She cited several instances in the autobiography where Harry painted himself in a bad light. After marrying Prince Harry in 2018, Harry's wife behaved uncharacteristically of others within the royal family. Either intentionally or unintentionally, she seemed to buck most royal restrictions. Several instances where Harry's wife showed she would blaze her path within the House of Windsor were simple rule breakers, and others were a bit more complex. For instance, she wore Dior to her and Prince Harry's son Archie's christening, when typically royal mothers wear a British designer on that day. They also announced their son's birth via Instagram, instead of first going through royal channels. Those instances demonstrate her sense of entitlement, her failure to follow accountability by going about things as per the usual conventions and protocol. Harry's wife also celebrated Christmas at Sandringham ahead of her marriage to Prince Harry. This was a massive break of the royal protocol, as even Kate Middleton didn't get to spend the holiday season with Prince William when they were engaged. Though in fairness, of course, it was the Queen that broke with the protocol to allow that to happen, although it may be the case that she did so as a consequence of pressures that were being placed. One can easily imagine Harry's wife moaning and whinging to Harry, "Why can't I come?" And him going, "Well, it's protocol. We have to be married, you see, before." And she then would complain about that because it means she's missing out. And a narcissist does not like to miss out because that, through the narcissist's perception, tells them that they are unimportant. It is the case that Harry's wife sold people down the river because as a narcissist she doesn't care about anyone other than herself. All individuals are simply appliances that are there to be used by her. She will pick people up, take what she needs of them, and push them to one side. She doesn't think of herself of doing it that way, but it is clear from her behaviour over and over again that that is what she does. And it's done because her narcissism compels the necessity of behaving that way. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.